Welcome to Little John's Yarn. Today we're going to learn how to make this crochet slouchy hat with a brim. This is perfect for any season of the year, man or woman. So let me hop into the materials for this video. I am using Friends Wool from hobby.com. I'm using it in 3 different colors, and for the main color, which is here, starts at the beginning and the brim, I am using 2 skeins of that yarn because you will run out of yarn. This is 109 yards of yarn. I am also using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook for the main body of the hat and a 5 millimeter crochet hook for the brim of the hat, holding 2 strands of yarn to make the hat firm. And please follow along to the gauge. The gauge for this pattern is 6 stitches and 4 rows equals 2 inches. Let me tell you what happens when you do not follow along to the gauge. Can you see these 2 swatches right here? They are worked exactly the same. The yarn that I'm using is slightly thinner, so therefore it came out a little bit smaller using this crochet hook. And the yarn behind it, which is the same, medium number 4 worsted weight yarn, is bigger. If your swatch is a little bit bigger, make sure you drop down in a hook size or your hat will be too big. You can also follow along to the free written pattern. That's going to be linked down in the description box below. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell also so you're up to date on all my patterns. And join me every single Sunday 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my live streams where we have a little bit to drink and talk about all things crochet. And one last reminder, I have cool crochet merch for the crochet person that just loves the hook. There's something for you. So make sure you check all that in my description box. All right, let's hop directly into this pattern. We're going to begin with a magic circle. If you can't create a magic circle, just chain 5, slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. We're going to start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. This chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet throughout. Now place 11 double crochets into the ring. Pause your video here and continue with your 11 double crochets. We've completed those 11 double crochets, and you should have a total of 12 if you include your chain 3. So let's pull that tail to tighten off the center. And now we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 to join. To begin round number 2, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, this is counting as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet back into that same stitch. You can see it's the same stitch because it kind of tense up. Hold on, my camera's a little bit blurry. There we go. And now we're going to place 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. So in that very next stitch, 2 double crochets. 1, back into the same stitch, and 2. Pause your video here and continue to place 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. We've made it to the end of round number 2, and you should have a total of 24 double crochets. Now we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet back into that same stitch. You can tell it's the same stitch because it kind of tense up a little bit. And now we're going to place 1 double crochet into the next. Now begins our pattern repeat. We're going to place 2 double crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into the next. I'll show you. So 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1, back into the same stitch, 2, and a double crochet into the next stitch. That is going to be your pattern repeat all the way across. 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side. We've almost made it to the end of round number 3, and I'm going to place that last double crochet in with you. Now slip stitch the join into the top of your chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now begins round number 4. Once again, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet back into that same stitch. Now we're going to place 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So the next stitch, place 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, place 1 double crochet. Now begins our pattern repeat. We're going to place 2 double crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. I'll work it with you. 2 double crochet into the next stitch. 1, back into the same stitch. 2. Now 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, next stitch, 2. I'll show you one more time. 2 double crochet into the next. I'll be working a little bit faster. 1, back into the same stitch. 2, 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, now to the next stitch. And 2. That is going to be your pattern repeat all the way around. 2 double crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side. We've almost made it to the end of round number 4, and I'm going to put in the last stitch with you, the last double crochet. And at the end of this round, you should have a total of 48 double crochets. Now we're going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. 1, 2, 3. To begin round number 5. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet back into the same space. Now we're going to place 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Next stitch, that's 1. Next stitch, 2, next stitch, and 3. Now begins our pattern repeat. We are going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. I'll work it with you. 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1, back into the same stitch again, 2. Now 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So next stitch, 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, and 3. That is going to be our pattern repeat all the way around. 2 double crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it to the end of round number 5, and you should have a total of 60 stitches. Let's slip stitch the join into the top of the chain 3 to start round number 6. Chain 1. We're going to place 2 single crochets back into that same spot. 1 and 2. Now we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 9 stitches. I'll work it with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is going to be our pattern repeat all the way around. Place 2 single crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet into the next 9 stitches. So 2 single crochets into the next stitch, 1, 2, and 1 single crochet into the next 9 stitches. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side. We've just completed round number 6 and you should have a total of 66 stitches. Let me zoom in my camera. Now we're just going to slip stitch to the very first single crochet to join. Chain 2, 1, 2. This chain 2 is going to count as a half double crochet. Now pay attention, we're going to turn our work. Your wrong side should be facing up. We're going to skip the first stitch and do a V-stitch into the next. If you're not exactly sure where the first stitch is, you see where this chain 2 is? The first stitch is right next to it, right here. We're going to skip that one and do a V-stitch into the next. To do a V-stitch, we're going to do half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. I'll work it with you. Half double crochet, chain 1, back into the same stitch, half double crochet. This is going to be our pattern repeat all the way around. So we are going to skip the next stitch and V-stitch into the next one, which is a half double crochet, chain 1, back into the same stitch, half double crochet. So pause your video here, continue with your V-stitch, skip a stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the other side. We've almost made it to the end of round number 7, and I completed this last V-stitch right here, but we still have a stitch left to create another V. So we're going to skip this next stitch and half double crochet into the same spot where you slip stitch to join and did your chain 2. So skip this and we're going to half double crochet in this next stitch right here. Chain 1. And now we're going to slip stitch to join into the top of your chain 2. 1, 2. And this completes the V for this round. Right now we're on the wrong side of our work. We are going to flip it over to the right side of our work and take our secondary yarn. We are going to attach yarn B, your secondary yarn, into the chain 1 space that you just formed. So here's where you slip stitch to join. We're going to attach right there. And once you have it attached, make sure it's tight. We are going to do a beginning bobble stitch. I'll show you how to do that. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to act like we're going to start a double crochet. We're going to work back into the same stitch, but we're going to stop halfway through. So yarn over, go into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Let's go right back into the same chain 1 space again by yarning over, going back into the same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 3. And that is how you do a beginning bobble stitch. Chain 1. This is going to be our pattern repeat all the way around. We're going to do a bobble, chain 1 in every single chain 1 space all the way around. Let me show you how to do the normal bobble stitch. Let's find your chain 1 space. We're going to yarn over, go into the loop, chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. We're going to do this move 2 more times. Yarn over, go into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Now we're going to do it 1 more time. Yarn over, go into the same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 4 loops left on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Chain 1. I'll show you how to do it 1 more time. We're going to do this move kind of like 3 times. So yarn over, go into the chain 1, pull up a loop, pull through 2. That's 1. Yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2. That's 2. Yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, pull up a loop, pull through 2. That's 3. 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Chain 1. That is going to be our pattern repeat all around. So bobble, chain 1 in each one of your chain 1 spaces all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. We've almost made it to the end of round number 8, and I'm going to do the last chain 1 with you, and we're going to slip stitch to join into the beginning bobble stitch. I do that right at the chain 2. A quick fix on my end. When I said slip stitch to join into the top of your chain 2, that is the wrong space. There is a little space next to that, which is the top of your beginning bobble stitch. So not the chain 2, but that space next to it is the top of your bobble stitch. You'll notice that you're on the wrong side. You're going to attach your third color to the chain 1 space right here. Once it's attached, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and that chain 2, of course, is going to count as a half double crochet. This row is super easy. We are going to V-stitch in every single chain 1 space. So let's go over into the next chain 1 space, and we're going to half double crochet to the next one. Chain 1, half double crochet back into the same chain 1 space. We're going to do that all the way around. So V-stitch in every single chain 1 space. Pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the other side where we'll connect this last V-stitch to this first chain 2 together. We've almost made it to the end of round number 9, and we're going to place a half double crochet into the same place where you did your chain 2 stitch. Chain 1, and slip stitch to join into the top of the chain 2 stitch. Now you can fasten off your work. Don't forget to turn your work at the end of this round. Alright, for the next 11 rounds, you're going to repeat round 8 and 9. Round 8 is your bobble stitches, and round 9 are your V-stitches. And don't forget to turn every single round. You'll also be changing your colors every single round. So pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the completion of those 11 rounds. We've just completed the 20th round, and you're just going to fasten off your work when you're done. And we are no longer turning your work. What we're going to do now is take our next color, and we're going to attach it to the next chain 1 space. Here's where you fastened off, and here's the next chain 1 space. Once you have it connected, we are going to chain 2, 1, 2. This chain 2 counts as a half double crochet still, and we're going to half double crochet back into that same spot. Now place 2 half double crochets into the chain 1 space. 1 and 2. This is going to be our pattern repeat all the way around. Place 2 half double crochets into each chain 1 space. Pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the other side. We've almost made it to the end of this round, and I'll do the last half double crochet with you. So yarn over, pull up a loop. We're changing colors on this last stitch. You'll have 3 stitches left on your hook. Let's drop that yarn you're working on and put on your other color. And pull through, and now you have a color change. Let's tighten your work, and we're going to slip stitch to join into that top of your chain 2. Pull your stitches to tighten your work. And you can fasten off that blue color. For the next 6 rounds, it's going to be exactly the same. You're going to be single crocheting in each stitch around. Let me show you how it's done. Chain 1, single crochet back into that very same stitch. I'm working over my end so I don't have to weave them in later. So we're single crocheting in every single stitch all the way around for 6 rounds. And of course, don't forget to slip stitch a join on the end of each round. The color changes for these rounds, you're changing colors every 2 rounds. So this round, I'm going to do 2 rounds of green in single crochets, then 2 rounds of teal in single crochets, and 2 rounds of light blue in single crochet. So pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the completion of your 6 rounds. We've just completed those 6 additional rows, and this is what your hat should look like. And make sure you fasten off your work. Now we're going to be working on the brim. So let's set up where the brim is. Where you fastened off your work, count 16 stitches over and place a stitch marker. And count 16 stitches over on the other side and place your stitch marker. This is where the brim of your hat is going to be. So let's flip over our work so that slip stitch joint is going to be in the back. We're also dropping down to a 5mm crochet hook. So let's attach our yarn. Oh, and one more thing, we're going to be working in the front loops only. So attach your 2 strands of yarn with your 5mm crochet hook. We're going to be single crocheting into the next 6 stitches, including this one. I'll work it with you. Let me take out the stitch marker. 1, next stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you're going to place 1 half double crochet into the next 24 stitches, working in the front loops. I'll work the first one with you. I'm working over my ends. 1. So pause your video here and continue with a total of 24 half double crochets. We've completed those 24 half double crochets, and now you're going to single crochet into the next 6 stitches. Front loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, remove your stitch marker, and 6. That was round number 1. Not round, but row number 1. For row number 2, we are not going to do a chain 1. There's no turning chain. But I want you to turn your work. We are going to skip this first stitch right here. And we're going to single crochet into the next 5 stitches. So skip this first stitch and single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, you're working into the both loops on this row. For the next stitch, you're going to do a half double crochet, working through both loops. Now, you're going to do a double crochet into the next 22 stitches. I'll work the first double crochet with you. 1. Pause your video here and continue with 22 double crochets. We've just completed those 22 double crochets, and now you're going to half double crochet into the next stitch and single crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet into the last stitch. And we're going to turn our work. And once again, we're not going to chain one. We're going to skip this first stitch right here, and we're going to single crochet into the next 5 stitches. So skip this first stitch and single crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Half double crochet into the next stitch. Now you're going to double crochet into the next 20 stitches. I'll work the first one with you. This is 1 double crochet. Now pause your video here, continue with 20 double crochets. We've completed those 20 double crochets. Half double crochet into the next stitch. Now single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip the next stitch and single crochet into the last stitch. Turn your work. The next 2 rows are going to be exactly the same. We're going to skip this first stitch and single crochet all the way across until you make it to your last 2 stitches. So skip that first stitch and single crochet all the way across into your last 2 stitches. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at your last 2 stitches of this row. We've made it to the last 2 stitches of this row, and we're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet into the next. And we're going to repeat the same thing for the very last row. Turn your work, skip that first stitch, and single crochet all the way across until you make it to your last 2 stitches. So pause your video here. We've made it to the last 2 stitches of this row and this hat. And we're going to skip this next stitch and single crochet into the last stitch. And when you're done, you can fasten off your work and your hat is complete. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you check out my other hat tutorials, and I'll see you all on the very next pattern. Bye guys.